What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 22 My Team career mode. Last time out we were at the British Grand Prix, and after starting in P11 due to a poor qualifying, we got caught out by the weather a little bit. We managed to recover our way all the way to the podium and get P2. So it was a very strong British Grand Prix from myself, and I'm hoping that we can continue our strong performances here in Austria. It's a track that we've had two kind of inherited wins historically. We had it in season 3 where safety cars and teammate battling with the leaders kind of meant that we were able to kind of pick up the lead and pinch it off of the cars behind. And then we did a similar thing with kind of taking advantage of safety cars in season 4 as well. So here in season 5 now, we are hoping potentially to do the same thing if need be. But I mean, first and foremost, I'd like to ideally get a good qualifying. But historically, I don't particularly qualify very well around here, and usually it's the race that goes a little bit better for me of the sessions. So even if I don't qualify particularly well, I'm still optimistic that I can work my way up the order and get into a good position. But before any of that, this is the last race of the season before the halfway point. So if you have any final thoughts on teammates for the next half of the season, then feel free to put them down in the comments below, because Porsche's been performing okay, but he hasn't been performing amazingly well. So I definitely would not be against the idea of picking up someone new. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Porsche getting P5 here in practice 1. I actually felt pretty good around here as well, even if you can't see me on the leaderboard. I feel like I still did a pretty good job. I was not performing too poorly, so yeah, I'm comfortable with the pace that we've got in the car so far, and I'm hoping that we can capitalize on a decent practice session to hopefully get a good qualifying session as well. And we may be saying goodbye to Porsche after this race potentially. It really just depends on a lot of factors. I'm kind of keen to keep him. I think he's done well enough, but yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and maybe I'll act on those, who knows. And now it's time for us to get into qualifying, which is it's not super important around here, especially because there's a sprint race as well. Even if you qualify some way down the order, you can usually make up quite a few positions in the race itself. So I'm hoping that we can do exactly that. We come on to our first flying lap Q1. We're into the 103s already, which is encouraging signs. And I'm sure we'll probably do another run on another fresh set of softs to cement our position. And indeed, you can see we're in P12 at the moment. But we're actually kind of being held up a little bit by Alonso here, and I can't help but feel like I might have been able to do a slightly better time if he hadn't been directly in front of me. So that was a little bit frustrating, but we still managed to make it through the session in P12. So as long as we can continue this sort of pace that we've been showing, and hopefully not get held up in Q2, then we'll be looking good. Meanwhile, Porsche looking very good up there in P2, but we'll see what the next session brings as to whether he's going to be right up there in Q3 or not. And we move on to Q2, which I think in the last couple of seasons I've actually failed to get out of Q2, if I remember. So who knows what might happen. So here we go now. We're on our first flying lap. We're on a used set of soft tyres this time, and it's a 104.0. So definitely we'll need to see a bit of improvement from that if we want to make it into that coveted Q3. However, when we go on our final lap on a fresh set of softs, you can see that the rain is starting to come down, and this might affect our lap time slightly. I'm not quite sure. I mean, we'll see what happens, but as we come around the first corner, you can see I've already lost 1/10, so I'm feeling like the grip might not be fantastic. We've got Ricciardo in front of us, but he is moving out of the way, so yeah, hopefully he won't cause too many issues for us. But as we're coming around this corner, you can see that he just... I don't know what he was doing there, I'm going to be perfectly honest, but that's the end of my session, unfortunately. So we're out. Ricciardo doesn't even give us a chance to prove whether we would have improved or not, but I don't think we would have done, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, he was just annoying more than anything there. And yeah, that's the end of qualifying, not only for us but also for Pourchaire as well, who misses out by 0.006 of a second to Oscar Piastri, who has been doing magic things with that Haas recently. He obviously got pole in Britain, and he is once again through to Q3. But his teammate Mick Schumacher was all the way out there in P6 as well. So that Haas may be a bit more competitive than we're giving it credit for now. Either way, he's he's a strong performer, and I think one day in this career mode, not this season obviously, but in a future season perhaps, he may be capable of going on to become a world champion, much like people speculate that he might be able to do in real life. But yeah, it might be a little while before we see that, especially with the likes of Leclerc and Norris definitely looking like two of the strongest drivers in this career mode over the course of the 5 years that we've been racing. I think they've both taken wins in every season so far. So yeah, both very strong drivers, and that's two drivers that Piastri is going to have to contend with if he wants to get that coveted world championship. But yeah, we have a bit of disappointment there, not to make it into Q3. But like I said, we can usually find a bit of improvement. The rain actually looks like it will be coming in both sessions. It might not arrive in time for the sprint, but yeah, potential for a mix-up.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, George Russell and Oscar Piastri, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Mick Schumacher and Guan Yu Zhou, Théo Pourchaire, Leclerc, Christian Lundgaard, Robinson, Gasly, Perez, Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda, Stroll, Magnussen, Schwartzman and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
And well, it's not going to be an easy task, and I'm sure you've probably figured that out as well by the fact that this is a very long video, probably one of the longest videos I've done in multiple seasons at this point. I don't remember the last time I did a 40-ish minute video, but yeah, lots of action coming your way. So if you want to see the action, then make sure to keep watching. And yeah, just as an aside, did you know that over 60% of people who watch my YouTube videos are not subscribed to my YouTube channel? I think that's kind of crazy, personally. So if you wanna help push those numbers down and push the number of people who are subscribed to watch my videos up, then yeah, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can get notified when these new videos come out. But anyway, we move to the grid now as the lights come on. I switch to the replay camera as the lights go out, and you can see there that one of the Haas's had a very good start there. And meanwhile, I'm fighting with the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly there, and now I'm trying to get ahead of the Ferrari of Leclerc, and also that Alfa Romeo, I believe, of Robert Schwartzman. So yeah, not in a particularly good spot right now, but diving up the inside here of Leclerc, then trying to move back to the inside. And I actually think I'm trying to pick the pocket of my teammate here, although he should have the better traction on the exit of the corner, and indeed he does, and Pourchaire stays ahead for now. But we've made our way up into P12 so far already, so that is a pretty good start from us. And now we're going to see if we can get down the inside there of Pourchaire, and indeed we do manage to make the move stick. And not only do we make the move stick, but that also leaves the door open for Schwartzman, who has walked straight through and he's now up into P12. So yeah, we find ourselves in a pretty decent spot already, up 3 positions off the start, and hopefully we can continue improving from here. But yeah, Porsche thinks about going up my inside there, thinks better of it. You can see some front wings flying there, and I imagine a few people will be coming into the pits as a VSC has been deployed. So that's probably for all the front wings, and indeed it was so many front wings flying at that pit exit, that or the pit entry I should say, that it's going to be a full safety car actually. So yeah, we have the potential to maybe jump a few cars off the safety car restart as we usually do, and this is the first safety car of the weekend, and I'm sure that it will not be the last, just based on that pit entry. I think that honestly, I'm going to be real, I think Codemasters needs to rework the way the AI works regarding that pit entry, because at the moment, basically any time someone is close by to someone who's entering the pits there, you just have, you know, this effect where more and more people are getting caught up in damage or DNFing or something like that, and that won't be the last time you see it this weekend. I can promise you that much. As we get ready to go racing again, I got a little bit caught out there, to be perfectly honest, and yeah, I'm quite a long way back from Zhou Guanyu because I wasn't prepared to put the power down that quickly. But as we come around the first corner, you can see that I am closing him down quite swiftly with the DRS and with the ERS. So yeah, maybe we'll be able to make a move on him sooner rather than later. He's going to brake early here because he's in a bit of a train. We're going to try and go up the inside, and indeed we do manage to sneak our way through into P10 and into the points in this sprint race. And it's not a race. And yeah, now we're going to see if we can get ahead of some more cars in front of us, the likes of Schumacher and Alonso, and I think that's Williams of Alex Albon in front of those guys actually, which is yeah, pretty impressive place for Albon to be. But you know, I've been singing his praises pretty much all series. He's been doing wonderful things in that Williams. Schumacher and Alonso banging wheels there, but we are just biding our time, maybe waiting for this to blow up a little bit and seeing if we can capitalize on it. And indeed, you can see that Schumacher going very slowly there. I actually have to take to the track, the runoff area of the track, just to be able to sort of keep my foot in it. Not particularly sporting, but you know, it is what it is. But then I go wide at this corner, and that causes a bit of an opportunity for Schumacher to get back at me, which he doesn't quite capitalise on. And I think we actually made a bit of contact there, but I'm not 100% sure. And yeah, now we're gonna see if we can set our sights on Fernando Alonso there, as Schumacher, yeah, I think he picked up damage from that contact, so he went into the pits, and as a result, Porsche drives straight into the side of him, and I think, yeah, he's peeling off the racetrack, and he's actually out of the Grand Prix. That damage was so critical, he couldn't continue. So yeah, a bit unfortunate, and indeed it has brought out the safety car once again for the second time in 12 laps, well, second time in 8 laps, I guess, but yeah, second time in a 12-lap race. And if this comes back in on lap 10, then that will mean there was only one lap of this whole sprint where DRS was able to be used, and there'll be maximum 2 laps where DRS was available in a 12-lap sprint, which is kind of absurd. But yeah, I think that's what's happening here. You know, safety car in on lap 10, so we are going to be hopefully pouncing on some of the cars in front of us. We've got Alonso, Albon, Piastri, who is yeah, doing amazing things in this series so far, and yeah, we're going to see if we can get ahead of Alonso off the safety car restart. We're baiting him to the inside of the corner, then switching back to the outside. We're going to try and go round the outside. We go off the track a little bit, we get warned for it, but somehow we do actually get away with that. We don't have to give the position back, and we can now set our sights on the Williams in front of us of Alex Albon and see if we can make our way up into P7 in this Austrian sprint. And yeah, we're having a pretty good sprint so far. You know, we've made our way up all the way from P14 to P8, and potential to get P7 or even P6 here. Pretty good. But I think there is another retirement from the sprint here, and we'll see who that is. It's Robert Schwartzman. I wonder if that was damage or whether that was just mechanical failure. We're about to find out as we switch to the replay camera, have a look at Robert Schwartzman, and yeah, that's smoke pouring out the back of his car. I actually switched the camera angle at the perfect time there, so that was pretty good direction from the in-game sort of TV camera, and not TV camera, but I don't know what it's called, like the cinematic camera, I guess you call it, to switch directly to the back of his car in that moment. But now we find ourselves on lap 12. We're just trying to bring it home in this sprint, see if we can grab a point or two to minimise the damage that Norris is doing to our championship lead out there in the front. And yeah, you can see that I have dived up the inside of Albon there, but that is probably the last move I'm going to make. Piastri's over a second ahead now. I don't think I'm going to be able to close him down before the end. But you know, either way, that's a pretty solid sprint from us. We made up 7 positions, and we'll be grabbing a couple of points for our troubles. So championship lead only brought down by 6 points, as opposed to the 8 it was looking like at the beginning. And once again, yeah, we just capitalised on a lack of pace from the cars in front, and yeah, really strong performance. And hopefully we can have an even stronger performance in the race itself, and move up even further in the standings. And yeah, I think I've won from further back than this before in previous Austrian Grand Prix, so who knows, maybe I could get it third time lucky this time around.
Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Well, that wraps up the sprint. All that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Indeed, it was an action-packed sprint, and I'm glad that we were able to salvage a few points, especially considering Pourchaire wasn't able to due to that unfortunate contact. But what that does mean is that it might keep him cheap for our contract renewals, because he won't be leveling up to a claim level 15, which means that we might be able to get him for a little bit less than we would have had to pay had he actually finished. But it depends on whether he makes his way up to a claim level 15 in the race itself. But that remains to be seen. But what I can say for now is that yeah, starting P7, I see no reason why we can't go on to at least top 5, maybe even the podium. And you know, if we get a bit lucky with safety cars and stuff, then we could be looking at maybe even better than that. But there will be some rain coming towards the end of the race, so that will have to play into our strategy as well, and we'll see what we can do from P7.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of around 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill of turn 3. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Ricciardo, Oscar Piastri, Robinson, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Joe, and Christian Lundgaard. Stroll, Perez, Max Verstappen and Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda and Kevin Magnussen, Latifi, Leclerc, Théo Pourchaire and Robert Schwartzman. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Alright, we're going to do a soft medium here, and actually not very many cars around us have done that, but yeah, I think it might be the correct strategy here, because the rain isn't supposed to be coming till the very end of the race. So I see no reason why we shouldn't go for an aggressive tyre strategy, because there'll be a few laps at the end of the race where we won't have to be on the slicks, and that could make all the difference. It means that I probably won't fall off the tyre cliff like I do on some occasions when I do this kind of strategy. So I'm pretty optimistic about our chances. And in fact, I think it was Verstappen actually got bumped down due to a grid penalty. So we're starting P6, and we only have to make up 5 positions to get to the lead of this Grand Prix. So yeah, I'm gonna be going full balls to the wall as the lights come on. And the lights go out as we switch to the replay camera, and we will see how good of a start we can get. You can see we're already challenging Piastri down into turn 1 here, but we get covered off by Russell. We have to try and go up the inside, and actually it's 4 wide. I sneak up the inside there and go up the inside not only of Piastri but also of Ricciardo, and now I'm challenging George Russell as well. And we're going to go to his outside here as we come up the run to turn 3. Go around the outside of him maybe. He locks up, and we make a bit of contact there, but I have actually managed to make my way past him. I don't know what he was doing, but for some reason he just stopped on the middle of the apex of the corner and caught me completely unawares. So yeah, he's challenging us back now as we come down the hill, but yeah, I managed to keep him behind me on the inside line. And yeah, we've made our way up into P3 already thanks to some battling between the cars in front, and now it's just Sainz and Norris between us and the race lead. So yeah, we're making more progress and way more quicker than I thought we would in this race. So now I'm feeling very optimistic about our chances, to be perfectly honest. But you can see some front wings flying in the background there. I'm not sure what those were as I go off the track there. Get a track limits warning, and safety car has been deployed due to those what am I saying? Not track limits. Due to those front wings flying, and unfortunately it's Oscar Piastri who is the victim of the damage that came at the pit entry there in lap 1. So yeah, he is out, and it is now just 21 cars left in the race as the safety car is out, and that is going to maybe give us an opportunity to pounce on Carlos Sainz here. We'll see if we can get ahead of him and maybe find our way up into P2, and then maybe we can start challenging Norris for the lead of the Grand Prix. The earlier we get up there, the more time we can spend saving the tyres, protecting the tyres so they can make it to the pit stop, and then hopefully make it to the rain without too much issue. You can see we have had a pretty good restart here. We're gaining on Sainz. Are we going to go up his inside? Yes, we are. He's locked up as well, and this has enabled us to have a great look up his inside. And yeah, he just doesn't have the traction on the exit of the corner. That lockup was big for him, but it was also big for Norris, who unfortunately is over a second up the road already. So I'm going to have real trouble challenging him as Sainz tries to go back up my inside here at turn 3, but can't quite make the move happen. And I'm sure he'll be challenging me again on the run down to the ensuing corner. But he's got a fight of his own to worry about with the Alpine of Fernando Alonso. And yeah, he manages to hold on to that for now, but it allows me to escape these guys a little bit and set after Norris once again. Either way, this has been a very hectic opening to the race, and yeah, how many safety cars is that already? 3 over the course of the sprint and the race. 3 safety cars, and we're only on lap 4 of the race. I get the feeling there could be even more chaos going forward. And yeah, as we come up to the line here, move on to lap 5, you can see that there is another safety car, and that is safety car number 4 of the weekend. So yeah, we're kind of being brought back into the fight here a little bit by the fact that the safety car keeps getting brought out, and we won't be challenging Norris because we're actually coming into the pits. And my logic here was, if the rain is coming at the end of the Grand Prix, I know I have pretty low tyre deg hair here, so why not try and shake things up a little bit? Maybe go onto the mediums early, and then when everyone else stops on the mediums onto the hards, maybe I'll be able to get a bit of an undercut on them and make my way into the lead that way. And not only that, but have a bit of a gap out front as well. There's still a few laps before they actually are going to be pitting, and they'll be pretty pacey still because the medium tyres have been conserved by the fact that there's not really been much green flag running so far in this Grand Prix. But yeah, we're down in P18. We're going to have to make a few overtakes happen, I think, if we want to get back into a position that's good. But you remember last season maybe in Mexico when I had to do something similar, and within about 3 or 4 laps I found myself back in the position I pitted from. So we'll see if we can do a similar thing here as we switch to the replay camera, and we're now going to be challenging Ricciardo here, and we're going up his inside as we go into the first corner, but we can't quite make the move happen. So we're going to have to wait a little bit of time, and in the meantime we're going to be challenged by Sergio Perez behind us, who is yeah, particularly fast in that Red Bull at the moment. He's just switched onto a brand new set of hards as well. We're going to go up his inside, but not only his inside, also Ricciardo's inside, and we are up into P17, and now we're setting our sights on the likes of, I think that's Christian Lundgaard directly ahead of us in the Alfa Romeo, but it might be, actually I think it's Schwartzman now I think about it. I've just had a look at my notes. So yeah, I think this is Schwartzman, and now we're also looking at our teammate Théo Pourchaire, who after starting at the back has yeah, a lot to do in this race down in P15, and we're actually sweeping around his outside as he gets caught up behind a pitting Aston Martin of Magnussen there. So yeah, we've made our way up 2 positions, and now we're into P14, and now we're going to be challenging Russell and Leclerc on the run up to turn 3 and see if we can get ahead of these guys. There's also Ocon in the mix as well. We got the inside not only of Russell but also of Leclerc. We're very close not to slam into the back of Ocon, who locked up when he was trying to overtake Stroll there. So yeah, we got away with one there. I'm being very aggressive right now, but that's how you make the points places up, and it's working for us on this occasion as we now move to overtake Stroll here. He's on our outside, and we're going to try and go around the outside at the following corner, and we make the move happen. You know, he's on old tyres at this point. I think Ocon has actually already pitted in this race. I think he had damage, so if we get ahead of him we will have the net lead of the race. So this is a crucial overtake to make, and as we move on now to lap 11, you can see that a few cars have come into the pits. I think that's anyone who started on the softs now pitting, and we go around the outside of Ocon, and we make our way into a bit of an air gap here, and up into P9. So we're already back in the points regardless of what happens, but I need to make my way up into at least P2, otherwise this strategy probably wasn't worth it. That said though, I did feel that my pace wasn't fantastic, and I do wonder whether the likes of Sainz and that would have overtaken me if I'd have stayed out on those softs for too much longer. We're now trying to get ahead of the likes of Lundgaard and Schumacher here, and yeah, we got the inside of Lundgaard, and he's going to have the outside for this following corner, which switches to the inside, and maybe we can try and sweep around the outside of him like we did with Lance Stroll, and it seems that we are going to do exactly that. So yeah, we make our way up into P8 now, and I think it's right about the time that the pit stop phase for the medium compound runners is kicking in. You can see Schumacher coming into the pits here. We've got to be careful not to make contact with him, as many of the AI do with cars that are doing that manoeuvre, and yeah, we've managed to avoid him for now. That's Schumacher in, that's Albon in, and that's Alonso in, and we make our way up into P5, and there's still plenty of cars yet to pit. The likes of Joe and Verstappen in front as well haven't pitted yet, so those are going to be cars that I'll be able to jump when they pit. They're now in as well, and then we'll see where Sainz and Norris up front are. They haven't pitted yet. Yeah, you can see that for sure if they pit, I am going to be in the lead of this Grand Prix. They haven't made up such an advantage on me that it's caused them to gap me by a safety car's length. So yeah, we are going to be in the lead of this race after this lap. They both switched to the hard compound tyres. I'm on slightly worn mediums, but I think they'll definitely be able to make it to the rain. It's about 10-15 minutes out at the moment. So yeah, I think we're in the box seat for this race right now to hopefully win it, as we switch the replay camera on lap 22, and you can see that this is Pierre Gasly, who yeah, he is out of the Grand Prix now. He suffering some kind of mechanical failure there, and he goes into the side of, oh my goodness, straight into Pourchaire, and that has undone all of the progress that Pourchaire has made, and that is not really Pourchaire's fault. Gasly just weaving back onto the track like that. You got to feel bad for Pourchaire in that moment, but it actually has triggered a 5th safety car of the weekend, And yeah, we kind of get away with one there because Norris was closing us down quite a lot. And this is going to mean that we have a few more laps where Norris is not really challenging us. We'll find out when the safety car comes in. But if it stays out for a few laps, then hopefully we will be able to conserve these tyres to the rain. I wonder if the rain might start coming down during the safety car actually, because it is pretty close. But it seems that on lap 26, the safety car coming in, and the rain's still nowhere to be seen. I need it to come, otherwise we're going to be in real trouble at the end of the race. I don't know if we're quite going to have the pace to make it to the end. That safety car definitely helped. It allowed us to conserve our tyres for about 3 laps, but still. We get a good restart, and Norris, gets a little bit caught out there. So the gap is about 4 or 5 tenths at the moment, but he will be closing us down, no doubt. And we're going to have to do everything we can to keep him behind until the rain comes out, which I'm really hoping is going to be soon, because I really don't know how much longer I can hold on these medium tyres before they start losing pace. I think they're currently, they say it's still looking good, but I think they're currently, getting up towards the 40% mark, maybe even further than that. So yeah, these guys on the hard compound tyres are definitely going to start showcasing a bit more pace than me, and I'm going to have to do my best defensive driving that I possibly can in order to keep these guys at bay for the remainder of the Grand Prix. We move now on to lap 28, and you can see that is a drop of rain on my windscreen, and I've never been more happy to see that. I said windscreen, it's going to be the camera, isn't it? There's no windscreen in a Formula 1 car. What do we think this is? IndyCar? Anyway, yeah, we get the rain, and then 4 laps later, it's finally in a position where the rain is strong enough that it might seem like it's time to come in. I'm losing quite a lot of grip on these tyres, so yeah, I'm going to be boxing on this lap, and we're going to potentially try and see if we can go faster than the rest of the field. But if the strategy is changing for us, it probably means the strategy for the cars behind us is also changing, which means they don't think that they can do 4 more laps on these tyres and get the best out of them. So yeah, probably a lot of the field are going to be coming in on this lap, and anyone not coming in is probably going to be at a bit of a disadvantage. We'll see if anyone does stay out, and that is Verstappen staying out, so that's his race ruined. And Russell staying out, so his race is messed up as well, and Schwartzman has stayed out. I think everyone else has come in, most other teams doing double stacks, so those 3 drivers will just be getting absolutely screwed basically. I don't see how they're going to showcase any kind of pace on the hard compound tyres. We're about 2 seconds ahead of Norris, who got a bit held up in the pits there, and we're going to see if we can capitalise on that sort of advantage we have over him on the final few laps to hopefully make it up into the lead of the race when the line comes. You can see that we gained 5 seconds on the cars in front over the course of this lap, just to showcase how bad the hard tyres are compared to the intermediates now, as it really is pouring down. And yeah, we're going to be speeding our way to the end of the Grand Prix now, and just trying to bang in a few consistent laps to hopefully keep Norris off of our tail. You can see he's closing us down by a few tenths at the moment, but yeah, as we come up to the line, the gap is still probably about 1.92 seconds roughly. So I think we can probably hold on to this as long as we keep pumping in good consistent laps, and yeah, this is a really good result for us. We just got the strategy absolutely bang on for the position we were in today, and that has really helped us, especially with regards to preempting the rain and that kind of thing. If the rain had come a little bit earlier, it probably wouldn't have been the right strategy, but because the rain came at exactly the right time, it meant that we were able to perfectly capitalise on it. We pitted off those soft tyres early, and that proved to be the right strategy because it allowed us to undercut Norris in front, especially with the safety car coming out. That really perfected the situation for us, and yeah, it means that we're going to round the final few corners, and for the 3rd year in a row, we are going to utilise strong strategy, safety cars and the like to win the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yes, fantastic! You just won the Grand Prix.
And that is our 5th win of the season, our first win since Miami, so our first win in 5 races. And yeah, what a time to do it. We're getting a bit under pressure in the championship now, and we answer straight back.
On the pit wall then after that superb win here in Spielberg, and rightly so. A brilliant effort from the whole team. Anthony Davidson. What helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
A show-stopping performance from the three drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
An interesting Grand Prix indeed. 5 safety cars. Perhaps not the podium you were expecting at the start of the Grand Prix. Alonso has made his way onto the podium as well in that Alpine, which is not a particularly competitive car this season. Just showcasing that he still has immense talent. And yeah, this podium made up of myself and 2 drivers who were potential candidates for replacing my teammate Théo Pourchaire, if you believe that one commenter on my Miami Grand Prix video. Thank you very much for leaving that comment.
Robinson increases their championship lead. So let's review the drivers' standings. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Well, you can't fault anything that Sergio Perez did out on the track today. He drove flawlessly, making him an easy pick.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The current leaders continue to extend their lead at the top. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
The battle for P2 there is heating up quite dramatically. McLaren, Red Bull and Ferrari all looking like they have a fighting chance. And yeah, we are very disappointed with Théo Pourchaire. That he, didn't score a single point, especially considering how good his initial qualifying was. Or actually, no, his qualifying wasn't that good. He was in P11, but still, he should have made his way into the points at least in one of these races. But unfortunately, he just got caught up in so many incidents. There was actually another instance where he had to pit and find his way back through the field. So he got caught up in one more incident along with the ones that you saw. So yeah, I can't help but feel like there must just be some kind of issue with his awareness or something like that. And even though he scored that 100 points, I'm really starting to wonder whether re-signing him is the right play or not. He just has not lived up to the potential that I've wanted him to show. He did a whole season here last season and really, couldn't prove himself. And then this season so far, he again just doesn't seem to be showcasing the kind of pace that I want from him. When he's been on it, he's been really on it, but he's just making way too many mistakes. It's not the pace really that's the problem. It's just the mistakes that seem to be creeping into every other Grand Prix at this. But he'll have 1 or 2 good Grand Prix in a row. We had the Monaco, and I think Canada went pretty well for him. He won obviously in Baku, but then he's had races like this. He had a race like I think it was Miami, didn't go particularly well for him either from what I remember. Bahrain, he got caught up in incidents. China, he was unfortunate, got that DNF. Yeah, just so many situations where he should have had a way better result than he had, but because he's getting caught up in incidents left, right and centre, he's just not capitalising on that potential that he's shown in some of these races. And I want someone who can be a much better, more consistent performer. And yeah, maybe that is going to be someone like a Norris or an Alonso, or even someone who's previously driven for us, like Piastri or someone like that. I did want to get Piastri, but the price tag I thought was a bit too hefty at the start of the season. But maybe here at the halfway point, I'd be willing to pay a little bit extra money for a consistent performer. He's been doing wonderful things in that Haas. So yeah, I think that maybe we will try and get Pourchaire back, but it really just depends on how I feel. But you will have to wait until the following video to find out whether that is the case. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do, and tick the bell to get the notifications as to when that video comes out. And that should be tomorrow, I imagine. But yeah, it remains to be seen. Either way, a very strong weekend from my side of the garage. We nailed it on strategy and we had really good pace. So I'm very pleased with this win, and hopefully we can continue and turn this into a good run of form. But that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.